Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I cannot contain my excitement because we are taking a step away from the Transformers Generations line to take a look at Transformers Cyberverse. Normally, I don't think I'd be this excited, but in front of us, we have Transformers Cyberverse Ultra Class Rack and Ruin. And this is the first official Transforming Rack and Ruin toy that we've had. I think it might be the first official Rack and Ruin toy we've ever had. The only other one I can think of is Fans Projects. Warbot came out with a Rack and Ruin toy, which was actually two separate toys that you could combine into a Rack and Ruin. But yeah, this is a character that I never thought we'd see, and in a toy form. We've had him in the comics for decades now, but I never thought we'd see him, and I assumed if we ever see him, it would be a deep cut from Generations Selects. Instead, we got him in Cyberverse. Rack and Ruin, if you don't know, has been in the Cyberverse cartoon since the end of Season 1. He's played parts here and there, and here he is turning into a pretty neat-looking Cybertronian armored vehicle. He rolls pretty well, not a ton of paint, which is to be expected for an Ultra Class figure, a Cyberverse figure. He's got a plow that doesn't really move, but you can jiggle it a bit. Got two big artillery cannons on the sides, which are neat. Got some Energon blue painted windows up front that don't connect due to his transformation and gimmick. Unpainted wheels. I was hoping we'd get some of that Energon blue on the wheels. But again, to temper expectations, this is a Cyberverse figure. For me, it was $18. So less than $20, about the price of a deluxe. We get essentially a voyager-ish class figure with less articulation for the kids line, and it's Rack and Ruin, which is amazing to me. I was absolutely going to pick him up. I don't know who else I'm going to pick up. I don't think I'm going to go completionist on the line, but this one was a must-have. So we're going to go ahead and transform him. First thing we're going to do is eject the plow, which will turn into a gun. Well, is a gun, rather. We can come in on the sides. There is a peg that is into a slot between the front and back parts of the vehicle. We'll separate those out. We can come in on the back of the vehicle. The cab is pegged in on each side to slots on the sides of the vehicle. We'll undo those. We can come in on the back, and we can, come in this way. We can fold the cab up. It'll click in place very securely I'll show that off in a second. There is a clip here that goes right in there that we can lock it in. We can come in on the arms. These front parts of the wheel. There is a triple joint here that we can accordion up and then out and get a swivel out of the way, and it'll lock in place on the side. Clicking in like so. Same thing on the other side. Get that out of the way. Flip that open, get the whole thing down and clicked in. We can see basically Rack and Ruin almost done. The legs are interesting. They rotate sideways and tab in. So we want to separate out, maybe it's better in this view. This tab here, we want to separate that out on both sides, which lets his waist rotate 180. And then that lets us swivel around the legs, bringing things down. And here is Rack and Ruin all transformed up. And I mean, he's a pretty decent $18 representation of a Cyberverse toy. If you hear me keep bringing up the fact that he's less than $20, that's because I think it is a big qualifier for this figure. If this was a regular Generations Voyager figure that was at $30, I think my feelings would be different. But at this price and the fact that it's the only Rack and Ruin that we have, I'm pretty happy with it. Super characterful head sculpt. Head sculpts, I should say. Got the eyes picked out, the optic picked out. Really wish, so right now they're molded directly into his chest. I really wish there had been some sort of swivel so that the heads could move around just a bit. It's unfortunate that they can't. No waist swivel due to transformation. He does have kind of the implied, in the cartoon, he's like two different torsos, and they try their best to imply it with the sculpting and paint as best they can here. In terms of articulation, you do have 360 swivel on the arm. Let's pop our camera up just a bit. There we go. So 360 swivel on this arm here, but only in one direction. If you go the other way, his tire gets in the way, and then you gotta kind of get the arm out of the way and rotate it this way, getting things out using that shoulder joint to get it out and get that clearance. Otherwise, if you go this way, it's a lot tighter of a turn. A 90-degree bicep joint and an elbow swivel. Same articulation on the other side. The hand doesn't move at all. He can hold his gun, which is nice. The legs on mine are loose. They're, you can see they come down, but he can flex, and I'll put some future floor polish on that after this video is over. The knee can go 90 degrees, and you do get a boot cut as a result of transformation. So, it's not great articulation, but it's enough to do what he wants to do with the character that you have. I guess I shouldn't call it him, Rack and Ruin, it's they, there's two of them. He is a decent-sized Voyager figure. I mean, here he is compared to one of the old generation Roadbusters, which is a big Voyager. So next to each other, this is the way I'm going to display them, because Rack and Ruin are wreckers. I'm going to have my buddies next to each other, and I think they look really good together. Rack and Ruin makes me very happy. So, do I recommend him at $18? If you get him for less than $20, I think I do. Know that there's limited articulation on him. Know that there's limited paint on him. Know that this is the only Rack and Ruin we have. And the last thing, and I save it for last because I'm probably never going to use it, but it's nice that it is an unobtrusive gimmick. He does have a power armor gimmick. And if we just lift up this tab here, his power armor folds out. I like a couple things about this. One, I mean, it looks pretty neat. He's got, power, energy, armor covering up his vital bits, which I think looks pretty good. The other thing is, it doesn't mess with his transformation all that much. The whole thing stays nicely tucked away in this backpack that we can fold away. And if you want to ignore it, which I probably do, you can ignore it entirely, which I like a lot. So, I am super happy that we got a Rack and Ruin figure. I am super surprised that we got a Rack and Ruin figure, especially in Cyberverse. This is one of those things where it's like, this is the only figure we're going to get of this character. Cyberverse, this is the only time we're getting Rack and Ruin. So if you want a Rack and Ruin on your shelf, I highly recommend him. It makes me bummed out that out of the deluxes that we've seen for the final wave of toys, we are not getting a Shadow Striker. I feel like there's a lot of cool designs in the show, and Shadow Striker is an awesome character that really could have done a cool deluxe car mode. But that's neither here nor there. Instead, we have Rack and Ruin in front of us, and I give him an easy recommendation. All right, thanks guys, thanks for watching, and catch you all later. See ya.